Congratulations, you just signed your listing agreement or you went into mutual on your purchase and sale agreement. And now the title company sent you and your clients the title commitment. What are you supposed to do with this? You're not an expert in title insurance. You've come to the right place. Ideally, you go through it in its entirety, looking at all of the intricacies that are in there. However, I want to focus on a few simple things that will allow you to zero in on the most important. You're not an expert in title insurance. Hear it from the experts in title insurance. Number one, please check the vesting in Schedule A. We've had many situations that listing agents have signed a listing agreement. We search the public records and disclose in our preliminary commitment for title insurance the vesting, which is, for all intents and purposes, the ownership. And that ownership sometimes doesn't match who the listing agent has on their listing agreement. So we want to make sure that those are matching. If for some reason they are not the same, then we've got a lot of questions that need to be asked and answered prior to closing. So let's get to work on that vesting. Check and make sure that's who we're dealing with. Number two, check the policy type. The standard MLS purchase and sale agreement has defaulted to the homeowner's coverage of title insurance for owners. But there's also standard and extended, so we want to make sure that we've got the appropriate level of coverage in there for our ultimate purchaser. Number three, be sure to check the debt that's listed in Schedule B as special exceptions. Are there any mortgages on there that might be a surprise to our seller? Do they have any private party debts? Are there any other types of liens, IRS liens? Are there judgments against the seller that we're going to need to jump in and get to work on as soon as possible? Also check for any other red flags, such as mechanics liens. Are there bankruptcies or divorce pending actions or probate issues? We want to make sure that we're getting out in front of that, because if you're that listing agent, you get that listing taken, it's probably going to sell pretty fast. At least we want to be ready for it if it does sell fast. So we want to get ready and get ahead of those matters, because sometimes those curing those title defects can take some time. Last but not least, and it's most importantly if you're a buyer's broker, make sure that you're sitting down with your buyers and going through the special exceptions for the covenants, conditions, and restrictions, any easements that might be out there, because these are rights that other people have in the subject property. The last thing we want is our buyers to be surprised post-closing that they find out they can't use the property that they're purchasing in a way that they intend to. If there is an easement for a municipality, for power lines, or buried power lines, we need to know, and buyers need to know, what they can and cannot do in that area. If there's an HOA, and the HOA has CC&Rs on the property, they limit the use of the property. So how high is your fence going to be? The size of the dog that you can have in your condo? All of those things would be addressed in there, spelled out as the special exceptions. But at the end of the day, you're not an expert in title insurance. So you can use your experts, the title insurance company, pick up the phone and call them. Your clients can pick up the phone and call them. We can walk through that process. We can answer any questions that they might have so that we have a smooth, seamless, and transparent pathway to closing.